I don't understand what makes her any different than you. And I'm like, well, look at her. Look at her body. It's completely different than me. And he was like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jazzy. So today I am bringing you guys another video in my Monday series. I don't really have a name for it. It's kind of just like a heart-to-heart type of series where I tell you guys my life stories, give you guys tips, that kind of thing. So I did change this video up last minute. I had a different video planned, and again, I apologize for my dog. She likes to entertain herself with the bone while I film these. So I did have another video planned, but I've been getting messages from not only people that are subscribed to me, like some of you guys, some wonderful messages from you guys, but I've also been getting some wonderful messages from people I went to high school with, people I went to college with, just people reaching out telling me that that what I've been saying has been resonating with them, and I kind of want to touch base with you guys on everything that I've been hearing. So for the most part, I've had people reaching out to me telling me that they felt the same way that I did when I was going through it, and obviously we had never talked about it before. So I think that's really interesting that, like, while you're going through that kind of thing, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I highly recommend going and watching my video from last week. But if you have watched it already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, I'll like summarize it for you guys. Basically, I was just explaining that when I was at my thinnest, I felt the worst about myself that I've ever felt in my life, and obviously, clearly, nobody knew because people are reaching out to me and telling me that they had no idea. And that's understandable because we don't share that kind of stuff with people just like willy-nilly, like out there telling everybody how we're feeling. And that is kind of my goal with my channel, is to hopefully like open people up to the idea of like telling people things that may seem vulnerable, but honestly everybody goes through them. Like I let me tell you, everybody goes through them. A big step that I guess I didn't mention in my tips of self-love, which I also, if you guys haven't seen that video, I did have a ton of tips for how you can learn to love yourself. But a big step that I didn't mention is just being open with the people that are around you about how you feel about yourself, because I suppose I was looking at my tips more from somebody who has already taken that journey and sees the full picture. But from a standpoint of somebody that's just starting to try and learn to love themselves, I think one of the biggest steps for me personally was opening up to people that I was close with about how I was feeling about my body. And actually, these videos never go where I intended on them going. Like, this is gonna go way different than I intended, but that's fine. Something that caused me to make a shift in my life. Oh, I guess I still have that on there. Something that really caused me to realize I needed to look within was a couple of years back now. It was in like 2019, so yeah, a couple of years now. I guess that's where that is where my light bulb hit, I suppose you could say, when it came to my self-love. I was watching Big Brother. This is like a very distinct memory that I have. I was watching Big Brother with my fiance Dominic, and he obviously knew I struggled, obviously, but I had never been so like distraught over it. I suppose I had never really shown how far I had gone into like the rabbit hole of hating myself. I suppose I probably had in many other conversations with him, but this was the point when it came to my body image, like my own self-love, like when it comes to my physical appearance, that I really opened up. And so I was watching Big Brother with him. Let me just tell the full story. I was watching Big Brother, and I remember seeing a plus size woman on it, and obviously we don't see plus size women really embodied on TV shows, even reality shows, unless they're being made fun of. And I'm not gonna lie, the girl that was on it was made fun of quite a bit, and that was really unfortunate. But at the same time, seeing her performing these like competitions and stuff. So if you aren't familiar with Big Brother, they do like competitions and everything, like physical competitions. Seeing her perform these physical competitions was really amazing. But I would see her in her bra. Like she would wear her bra with her pants. And I suppose I had seen this many times with like YouTubers I had followed, but for some reason seeing her perform the competitions in them, I don't know why. I do know why. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I do know why that triggered me. Seeing her do that reminded me of when I was younger and I was working out a lot, and it brought back like a lot of weird memories for me of just how intense I was when it came to working out, and it made me realize why I was so afraid of working out, because it really made it all click for me why I had let my weight get to the point that it was, or is even still, because I'm still there. But yeah, it really made it apparent for me why, and it was because I almost had a fear of working out. And yeah, I just had a fear that I was going to get addicted to it and that I was going to devote my life to it. Like it's like a weird thing, because people always talk about eating disorders, and I feel like I never had that. Like I feel horrible for people that have, but I never had an unhealthy relationship with food. I never have. I could eat healthy any day. Like if I wanted to, or if I wanted to eat what I want to eat, then I would eat that. Like I like healthy food, so I never had that unhealthy relationship with food the way I saw so many people struggle with. But what I have had is an unhealthy relationship with exercise. And so seeing her exercising, it made me realize how much I miss it, or how much I missed it, I suppose you could say, and how much I actually really love exercising. Like I just really love it. And it made me realize why I had hid from it for so long. So anyway, the moment that I'm speaking of is she was up there in a bikini, and I had like a total breakdown with Dominic, like bawling my eyes out about how, or not a bikini, a sports bra and pants. And I was bawling my eyes out to Dominic about how I could never do that. I could never show my stomach, ever. I just didn't think I could, you guys. And if any of you guys that know my channel, which a lot of you guys obviously do because you are subscribed to me, you know that now I like show my stomach all the time in my hauls, and I have no shame in my game. Like, I don't feel insecure at all about showing my stomach at this point. Like, it's literally just second nature for me to, when I'm changing, to like just let you guys see it. I don't know. It's just not, it is completely normal for me. At that point, it wasn't. And I watched her on that show, much like you guys watch me in my hauls. And you say to yourself, I could never be as confident as she is. Like, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys watch me and don't think that too, but I know there are a select few that have reached out to me, and possibly more that haven't, that watch my hauls and think to themselves, like, that could never be me. I could never feel confident enough to do that. Like, this, look at my body. And that's what I said to him. Like, that's what I said to Dominic when I watched her showing her body like that. I said, there's no chance I will ever be like that. And it hurt me so much to realize that I was never going to look like her, so I was never going to feel comfortable showing my body. Like, she obviously is a lot smaller than me, and if you guys don't know her, I'll put a picture on screen. But she just, I don't know, watching that made me realize that not even realize, you guys, like I keep saying realize, but at that moment in time, which if you think about it, it was probably June or July of 2019, so how many years ago was that? That was less than 2 years ago, you guys. I thought I could never do something like that. I could never, ever in my life show my body in that way to people. And I was jealous. I was jealous that she was confident, and I just wasn't. And I thought I was. Like, I would say I was, and I wasn't. I just wasn't. So anyway, I had an emotional breakdown with him about it, and I remember Dominic really helped me through a lot of this stuff. And I remember him telling me that, like, asking me, why can't you? Why wouldn't you be able to? And I was like, well, I'll never look like her. There's just no way I'll never look like her. And he was like, yeah, but you look like you. So I don't understand what makes her any different than you. And I'm like, well, look at her. Look at her body. It's completely different than me. And he was like, yeah, but your body is beautiful as well. And just because her body is different doesn't mean that your body is not beautiful. And it just all clicked for me, I suppose, at that time, that I needed to redirect my brain from thinking that just because I was different than somebody didn't mean that I couldn't love myself as much as they loved themselves, or I perceived that they loved themselves, because who knows if she even really loved herself, truthfully. So anyway, a little off base, but this is kind of like clearly a personal story, and I feel like I'm getting emotional. I don't know why. But, well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because it brings me back to that time when I felt that way about myself. And it makes me really sad for her, and it makes me sad for people out there like me that feel that way and look at my videos and think to themselves, I could never show my body the way that she shows her body. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because I know how that felt. And like, I know I shouldn't even be apologizing to you guys. Because I know that like we're all on a different journey. But at the same time, like watching her almost hurt me. Because it made me feel like it's weird. It's like a weird sense of like it hurts, but at the same time it gives you hope that you could possibly feel that way at some point about your own body. But anyway, you guys, I don't know. That moment it inspired my self-love journey, and it made me realize that I wanted to be like her, and why couldn't I be like her? Just because my body looked different than hers. I mean, that was my whole thing. I wanted to start a YouTube channel, obviously. At that point, I had wanted to start one for so many years, and I just didn't, obviously. And I think it's because I still had so much growth to do, and I ended up starting my channel. If this gives you any idea, I ended up starting my channel in February of 2020. So that was about 6 or 7 months after I had that breakdown. I spent 6 or 7 months listening to podcasts, watching people on YouTube, watching just different things that inspired me to love myself as I was. I discovered people bigger than me that have YouTube channels and that post things on social media. And I realized, like, what is wrong with me? Why did I think that the cap is the Ashley Grahams of the world? So if you guys don't know Ashley Graham, which I'm sure all of you do, but why did I think the cap was like a 14, 16? Well, because society, which that's the video that I actually was going to be making today, but I suppose I'll save that for next week. So if you guys want to watch that, definitely hit the subscribe button. But that was my original video idea for today, you guys. And like, as you guys know, I'm a mess, and I just ramble in these videos. I can't control that. But I suppose if I came in here with the script, I could. But that's just not how I am. I want to be real with you guys, and I want to share with you guys like every detail if I'm feeling it, and here I am feeling it. So anyway, okay, so I guess I actually need some resolution in this video. I can't just like end it here. But the reality of it is that at that point, 6 or 7 months before I started my YouTube channel, my cap of what was beautiful in a woman was a 14, 16, maybe 16, 18. If we wanted to get crazy, I could be okay with that as well. But it took me a good 5 or 6 or 7, yeah, probably 5 or 6 months to realize that like that's not the cap. Like, I am beautiful how I am. And even when I started my YouTube channel, I never in a million years imagined that I would ever be able to do a haul. Ever. I would never be able to put myself out there like that. And I actually, when I started my YouTube channel, I know I've mentioned this a couple times, but my first video on YouTube, I wouldn't refer to myself as plus size. Because I didn't like the term at that time. And why didn't I? It's a great term. What is wrong with plus size? what is wrong? There's nothing wrong with plus size, so why didn't I like that term? So even, it could be said that even when I first started my channel, I didn't love myself completely. And do I love myself completely now? It could be said that there are parts of me that I don't. And I don't know that yet until the future when I love myself more. So, I don't know. I know this is like, I don't know. All I'm letting you guys know is that there was a time when I felt exactly how you do about yourself, if you guys are feeling this way, that I would never be able to show my skin. So let's just put this into more perspective. I posted my first haul video in August of 2020. So it was about a year from the time that I had my breakdown of how I didn't feel beautiful in my body to the time that I felt beautiful enough in my body to post a video of myself showing my body, like the way that she did in the TV show. So it took me about a year to love myself that much. So I'm not like, I almost wish I was a YouTuber at that time, but I'm happy I wasn't, because it took me that time to realize that I could do what I do now. But this is, I guess, a video explaining to you another part of my journey of, if you guys are looking at my videos wondering how did she get to the point that she is at, it took some work. It took a lot of work, and it took a lot of months of me thinking that I wasn't okay and thinking that I couldn't be seen as beautiful. So if you guys are feeling that right now, I just want to give you hope that there is a time when you too will feel confident in your skin if you just put in that work and realize how beautiful you really are, no matter what size. No matter what size. Bigger than me, smaller than me, same size as me, freaking don't have a right arm or left leg. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You think you can't? You can. I'm freaking living proof of it. You can. You can love yourself no matter what you look like. Anyway, you guys, I love you. And I have to end the video because it is getting a little bit rambly, I feel, but I suppose those are sometimes the best ones. And I will see you next week with the video I actually intended on filming this week, but about society standards. And I was actually, you guys, like, this video was supposed to be about like how society shaped us as women, and it ended up being this. But anyway, I hope this gives you some encouragement to love yourself and know your worth. Alright guys, I will hopefully see you next week if you hit that subscribe button to follow along on this insane journey. And if you haven't watched my past couple of weeks' videos, I highly recommend. They are just as crazy. I will see you guys next week.